All right, so we are now quickly to the 49ers
Yeah,
preview.
we're right into it, just like that.
That was fast. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. That's the end of the show. No.
Not yet. We're getting there. So to our questions. Our first and second question are both from Chavaway, a.k.a. Sal, a.k.a. one of our best followers and fans.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Big supporter.
His first question is, realistically, how long is a 49ers contending window?
You know, it kind of feels like this might be the year they have to kind of... Because, like, Kittle, he's a physical player. He gets hurt a lot. He could be closer to the end of his career than people realize. Debo's still kind of in his prime, but he's also a physical player. Don't know how long his prime's going to be. Trent Williams is an older player who's getting paid a lot of money. The NFL is hard to like keep the band together for like a long time, Yeah. So I think it could be one of those situations where maybe after this year they kind of have a slow like downtrend and then maybe build back up pretty quickly because they do have some young players that still have a chance to develop into something. And then I think just nowadays getting the quarterback position figured out will set you up. Like the Bengals and Chiefs are going to be interesting for the next 15 years, most likely, right?
Yeah.
And I would say you could even maybe throw the Bills in there. I'm not as high as on Josh Allen anymore as a lot of people are, but yeah, I think the window this year, maybe next year too. And then I don't even like they're not the favorites in the NFC. I think the Eagles still would be.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're one of the favorites, but not the favorite.
They're probably the second.
Yeah, probably number
the
two.
second favorite of the NFC.
Yeah,
and probably like the fourth favorite overall in the NFL.
Up there, yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I would say probably top 5 or 6 at least. I don't know. What do you like?
I think the window. I think you guys got to get the quarterback right. That's what's the most ironic thing about the Niners is they literally have everything that you would want in a team except for
the most important
position.
Yep.
And they still make it work. They've been to the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, all of this in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Giants score a run. Sorry,
they're doing some funny things right now.
I think the window's going to be there for you guys as long as Kyle Shanahan is there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And maybe as long as Nick Bosa's there too, at least on the defensive side. I know he's only one guy, but he is.
Yeah, he's definitely
he's the most important guy on the.
He could be a game changer.
Probably on the team besides maybe McCaffrey.
Yeah,
probably him and McCaffrey 1 and 2.
Right.
When it comes to most important players on the team,
I just think I guess defining contending window is the next part of the question because, like, sure, the Niners could still be kind of interesting for a few years, but maybe not like. Maybe they're more like a 10-win team instead of like a 12 or 13, conference championship type team.
And I know Kyle Shanahan, I'm sure Niner fans will talk shit about him because he hasn't got them to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
But neither has any coach in the past 28 years. You know what I mean?
He's honestly he's right there with what Jim Harbaugh's tenure was.
Exactly.
It's so funny.
Like I'll tell you this much. I would love to have Kyle Shanahan as the coach of the Cowboys.
I think a lot of people would like him.
So I think as long as he's there, because he has such a great football mind, I think you guys will be good.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like what you said with Harbaugh. Once Harbaugh left, it was a dumpster fire.
Well, I mean, the front office did so many stupid things after Jim Harbaugh was let go, and Jim Harbaugh being let go was one of those things. But yeah.
So I'll say to answer the question, as long as Shanahan is coaching the football team,
right? I think it just the variance of their legitimacy as a contender will be there. Like it is going to be up and down.
The next question is: are you sick of the quarterback situation as I am? Let's play ball, and he's referring to the Niners quarterback situation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's I haven't really read into too much of the the storylines that people are trying to push or anything like that. I just I'm kind of on the boat of I kind of trust Kyle. Like, here's the thing too, as just a pretty generic fan, I'm not watching practice. I don't know how these guys are in the quarterback room, as they say.
Hell, practice. I might watch a preseason.
I'm not. I have.
We watched a little bit on Saturday.
I've intentionally chosen to shield myself from preseason. It's just not worth it.
I don't think. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, it's been pretty well documented that teams play vanilla offense and defense during the preseason.
Yeah.
So what's the point of putting any stock into what you see during those games? So I'm willing to trust Shanahan's judgment in making Brock Purdy the QB1 and whoever the hell he wants to be QB2. It really doesn't matter to me. I mean, I think a lot of people would like to see them give Trey Lance an opportunity, but until he proves it in practice, which I'm assuming he probably hasn't at this point, I'm gonna let them say Brock Purdy's number one.
I'm sick of it because I am a guy who listens to sports talk radio in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I know.
And this is all they talk about.
Yeah.
And like you said, you got to let the coaches know who's the best guy is out of the three.
Right.
And I know, Trey Lance, it's always, every other word out of their mouths is Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks bad that he's not starting because he was a third pick and you guys gave up so much equity to get him. You know what I mean? But to answer your question, Sal, yes, I am sick of it. And yes, can we just play ball?
Let's play
Because Brock
ball.
Purdy is QB1. And do I think he's going to have a little bit of a dip? Yes.
It's very much in the cards for that to happen.
But I don't think it's going to be drastic. It's almost like people want Brock Purdy to fail just so Trey Lance can get his chance.
I think there's probably a community out there.
It may be vice versa a little bit. Like, they don't want Trey Lance because, he's just not the guy.
Yeah.
He's not even given a chance, really.
Right.
But you got to get to Brock Purdy for taking this opportunity. He has absolutely done the best he can, and he's earned the spot on the team.
Yeah. Oh, man, rough double play right there. Yeah, no, I mean, it's... you're right. I think the coaches do know better than we do, obviously.
Yes.
And if they don't, then that's when the guys get fired.
Exactly. That's what they get paid for.
Exactly.
But yes, I am 100% sick of this. I want to see whoever's the best player because, when the Cowboys play in Week 5, I want their best.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure vice versa a little bit, right?
Yeah, always. Always want to beat every team at their best.
Our next question is from Diggy Lens. He asks, should we be worried about that, or should we be worried that Bosa hasn't even trained with the team or got paid?
If you asked me this question like 2 weeks ago, I would say, no, I don't think we should be worried. But I think it's getting kind of to a weird point of the season. We've played 2 of the 3 preseason games already. The train part, I'm sure he works out on his own, and he's a guy that can probably just step on the grass and be ready to roll game 1. I'm not too worried about that part, but the contract situation is getting a little interesting, and there's not a lot of word coming out of camp about it. So that's because the contract talks are going well, and they're just waiting it out. But they gotta pay this man. They can't let him sit out.
100% agree. You should be worried that he hasn't trained a little bit because, I mean, he's young and he's in great shape.
Yeah.
But I do think it does matter when you play real-time reps against, whether it's practice or preseason. I think that does matter a little bit. But when he steps on the field, whenever they get this done, he's going to be ready.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the best defensive player, if not the best player on the team every game he plays.
Right. I mean, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure he's staying in great shape and maybe doing drills on his own, but he's just I'm not going to risk getting hurt in practice, if I don't have a contract, which is what a lot of guys are doing. So it's not like I feel like there's some weird tension. I think that's, this is pretty typical these days to see this kind of holdout.
And to answer the second part of the question, or got paid, I'm not worried about that because they're going to pay this guy. They have to. This is the cornerstone of the franchise. Yeah. He is the guy. I mean, he won Defensive Player of the Year. How are the Niners going to look if they don't, if they let him walk after winning Defensive Player of the Year last year? It's not going to look good. The Niners like to look good as a franchise, and they're going to pay this man. I'm convinced. Me being me, I hope they don't pay him, and I hope he goes somewhere else. That's not going to happen because the Niners are smarter than that, and they know how much this man means to this franchise.
When you hit on a top 5 draft pick, you keep him around. It's pretty simple.
You have to. This guy should be a Niner for 90% of his career, unless he goes somewhere else and plays 3 years.
I mean, I would say you give him, I don't know what, generally defensive ends, I think, get a 5-year extension after their rookie contract. That should be, at the minimum, assuming he's still performing well, should be the minimum amount of time he spends on the Niners.
I wouldn't worry. maybe a little rust to begin the season, but he'll be fine.
But I even think, like, you don't even have to play him every snap, and he's still going to have an impact on the game, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm sure they're just working out details. That's my guess.
The next question is from Jay Faring. He asks, which of the young fellas is taking the biggest step this year?
This one I actually did some research on because I had to, like, really think about it. And I even broke it down to, like, if a guy's going into his fourth year, I can't count it.
Okay.
Because I could have said Brandon Ayuk. He already actually took a pretty big step last year and even the year before that. So I it pretty much went, you got to either be in your second or third year. And not counting rookies either because you don't really have anything to base them on. I would say on offense, it's probably running back Tyrion Davis-Price. And I say that mostly because he has a chance to be the number 3 running back, maybe even number 2, because Elijah Mitchell is having some injury issues already in camp. And then, McCaffrey, as much as I hate to say it, he's been injury prone over the last handful of years. So I think he has a chance to be productive, if not, a good piece of the team.
I think you let one slip under your nose with Brock Purdy.
But, I mean, how much room for improvement is there? He's basically undefeated,
He can make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think...
Or maybe the kicker they just drafted.
Yeah, but I wanted to keep rookies out.
Okay, gotcha.
On defense, I would say Drake Jackson. He's like a kind of rotational defensive end / linebacker.
How long has Hufanga been in the league for?
I want to say he might have been a special teamer. This might be going into his third year. But I think he made the Pro Bowl last year. So.
I'd probably say, if I had to really answer the question, I'd probably say Hufanga.
Yeah. But I think taking a big step, like, I don't know how much better he can get. He had a great year,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say Drake Jackson as a guy that could, like, have a little breakout as a pass rusher, someone on the other side of Bosa on many occasions.
Could you say possibly Trey Lance? Could you? I'm just saying.
There's too many. To me, there's too many factors or variables that would go into him actually getting an opportunity.
It'd have to mean Brock Purdy gets hurt, and then he also takes the job away from Sam Darnold.
Right.
Sam Darnold's looking like QB2 right now.
Right. There would have to be some, like you said, injury or major underperformance from Brock.
That's fair.
Yeah.
How many years has Debo been in the league now?
This will be his 5th season.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Because his rookie year was a Super Bowl year, I believe, for the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, 2019.
Nice. So, expectations and predictions. Over under 10.5 wins for your Niners. I did my picks for them today, and I'm picking over.
I think I got him around 12 wins.
I did too.
Yeah.
I believe I picked.
I think
I had him at 12. I didn't have him at 13. I think I had him at 12.
I think initially I had him at 13. I was like, I'm going to go. I know it's only one win difference, but I was like, I'm going to go a little conservative on this one. So I'm going 12 wins. So that's a little preview for our predictions
in 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, I think 12. Yeah, I mean they're gonna be there unless injuries hit them like they have in recent years. But I think they're gonna be there. If they I could see maybe getting exactly 10 wins. Like even if
they're gonna get
even if they did stay healthy, but maybe some guys regress a little bit. Yeah. Like 10, I could understand, and like the Rams bounce back miraculously or something like that.
Because 10 will probably still get you in the playoffs.
Yeah, 10
it might not win you the division, but it still could because the Rams are probably going to be shit. Cardinals are going to be shit. It's pretty much a 2-man race between you guys and the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Do I see the Seahawks winning more than like 10 or 11 games? I don't think so. I think I have the Seahawks at 9 wins this year.
I think I might have them out of the playoffs this year. I just think there's a lot of you would have to rely on Geno to have another solid year for them to make the playoffs for me. And I don't know if that's
I think the over on 10.5 I think that's a money pick.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's actually not 11.5 because the NFC their schedule is not easy, but it's not like unbelievably hard.
And this 10.5 according to Caesars.
Yeah, it was on like 3 different sites. I don't know if I still have it up, but yeah, I went to a Vegas Insider and that was on 3 different sites that were all 10.5.
And the last thing is the Niners X Factor, biggest X Factor.
Oh man,
it's a tough question.
Yeah, it is. I mean, X Factor.
I mean, the Niners X Factor. It's got to be Deebo Samuel, right?
I don't know. I mean, but to me, he's a pretty constant thing. Like what, for the most part, where you're going to get.
Give me a definition of X Factor. Just
something that
for the people listening.
More of if this guy does this, they're going to be great. like I think with Debo, you know what you're getting. I almost say like a guy like Brandon Ayuk could be one. Him taking even another leap after having a very solid season last year. Trying to think who else could be in that. I think like a second cornerback being pretty solid next to Travaris Ward, because that's kind of a weak position for the 49ers.
Yeah.
I mean, and like an easy one could be just saying Brock Purdy or just getting the quarterback position dialed in. I think if the most obvious one I think would be quarterback. Just is Brock Purdy going to be the guy that some people think he could be?
He's got a lot to prove.
Yep.
I mean, he played fantastic.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for him, busting his elbow, they might have went all the way to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough question. I guess I don't really understand X Factor and all that, but I mean, Brock Purdy's the easy pick.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Niners have weapons. Mm-hmm. So I think
I'd probably go Ayuk, even though you said he had a huge year out last year.
He had a nice little breakout season last year, and he was even decent the year before that. I think him, maybe, because I don't even know if the Niners could definitively say they have a number one receiver, because Debo puts up numbers, but a lot of that is predicated around him being versatile, like in the running game as well. Yeah. So I think if Ayuk could like establish himself as like a go-to guy on third downs or something for Brock or whoever's playing quarterback, that could be huge. Because, I mean, is Kittle like a third down, like a Kelsey type guy? No. He's good, but he's not like that just security blanket type player.
I talked about it on Saturday, how my fantasy team went to the moon after Brock Purdy became the quarterback, because he just would keep feeding.
Right.
I don't know if it's the Iowa school connection. They both didn't go to the same Iowa.
They're rivals, yeah.
Still, it's the Iowa, state. The Iowa, not
state of Iowa.
The state of Iowa connection.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. I don't know. We'll see. I think whoever leads the team in receptions is going to be it's probably going to be Ayuk, but that would be an interesting bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, does George Kittle have one last big time season now?
You think he's that? You think he's almost that? You think it's
I don't want to say it like that, but I mean, like, I think he could still be a really valuable player without like having the same production that he's had in past years. I don't know if I see him as like an 80 catch kind of guy anymore.
Because he is a very physical tight end.
Yeah, and he misses games every year.
But what he should do is do it like Jason Witten did, just curl in like first down, and just drop.
Yep.
But he's gonna be fine for a couple of years, I think.
I do think that he could be smart enough to be mature and say, like, I just need to not try and roll over every defensive player in my way.
Yeah. He could do what Travis Kelce does. He avoids every kind of contact he can.
Yeah. Travis Kelce's special, though. He's different.
He is different. Well, is he special, or does he have Patrick Mahomes throw into him?
A little bit of both.
Can you imagine Patrick Mahomes throwing to Kittle?
Yeah, a little bit of both. But he's pretty damn good at getting open.
Yes, he is. I might have to get him with my 10th pick, maybe. Tight end, first pick. Ooh.
Yeah.
If it's one guy to do it, though, it's him.
Right.
If there's one guy to do it.
He was massive for me last year. Yeah. He was. I mean, even though Justin Jefferson was, I think, the number one receiver, I think Kelce probably was my most valuable player.
You had Jefferson and Kelce?
Yeah, it was my first two picks.
Wow.
I just didn't like the running backs that were there that much.
That's massive, man.
Yeah.
What did you finish in our league last year?
My record was good. I think I went like 10-3. Yeah.
You made the playoffs, right?
I think I thought.
Did I beat you in the playoffs? No.
You or Taylor beat me. I think it was you though.
I think I beat you and Danny.
I
lost to Taylor.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
My team honestly wasn't that good. Like, I didn't score a ton of points.
No.
I just was fortunate to win some games, which I'm going to say it right now. I was very unfortunate for many years.
Yes. You couldn't catch a break for a long time.
Yeah. So, yep. Niners. Super Bowl champs this year. Let's go, baby.
Take a shot.
Yeah. Intentionally did not bring any booze into the room today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We both got to work tomorrow, and I'm not trying to be hungover.
Yeah. Tomorrow's my long day of the week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So.
There you go.
So, yep.